I decided to take this Make It Merry pad, a big throwback from October afternoon, and turn it into some fun Christmas goodies. Hey guys, it's Beth. Welcome. It is the end of the month, which means it's time for Smash That Small Pad. It's Smash Those Small Pads. It's a collaboration I do with Sarah, who is Crafting and Relaxing here on YouTube, and Kathy, who is Stampin' Cat over on Instagram. And we just work on pads smaller than 12 by 12 and try and finish them off. And I scored at Goodwill recently while I was killing time waiting for my daughter to finish up with dance class. And I scored a ton of Basic Gray, a ton of October Afternoon. I mean, some really great throwback companies, some throwback pads. So I think I took all of their Basic Gray, all of the October Afternoon. There was some K & Company and some other small pads that were bundled all together. It was like just bags, big gallon bags of small pads. And so there were some other ones thrown in there together, but I was really psyched about October Afternoon and Basic Gray. I love October Afternoon. Love the vintage flair of their patterns and images. And then y'all know I love Basic Gray. So I scored some small pads from Basic Gray. So you'll see those probably coming up in my Basic Gray collaboration. But then the October Afternoons, I got several 8 by 8 pads from October Afternoon. So I'm so excited. So since we're coming up on Christmas, I decided to play with this one this month. It's called Make It Merry. And they've whited out how many sheets were originally in the pad. So I don't know. Most of the time when you could see what was included, the original amount of sheets, most of them were there. So I don't know if I have a full pad, but I probably have close to a full pad. But I mean, these images, like, I love these. So I have a couple different projects in mind that I wanted to make with these, and it'll probably just be a project share, but I did want to come show you the full pad before I kind of cut into it and started creating with it, just because I love it. I mean, nothing makes my heart happier than this pretty, just joyful vintage paper. I love vintage. I think I'm an old soul at heart sometimes, so this just makes me super happy. So I'm going to have some fun playing with this, and I will share with you my projects. So I took my pad, and this is what I have left. And I've used the rest of it and made several different projects here. There was a sheet that had like a bunch of little sections of Christmas songs. And so I thought it would be cute to kind of turn one into a little Christmas block, like a vintage decor piece. So this is just a block we had in our stash from the other block sets that we make for our business. And it's just a 2x4 that's been cut down and stained. It's about 5 inches by 3.5, I think. And then I trimmed a piece of the green gingham to fit the front of the block. And then I had trimmed out this part of the song, like I'm a Little Christmas Tree, and decided it needed something else behind it. So I've inked all the edges with the walnut stain distress ink, but I still felt it needed a pop of something to separate the kind of white, off-white song piece and the gingham. So I think that helps it pop, and then I just used Mod Podge to adhere it on there. And so that's that. I'm trying to decide if I want to add like ribbon around or like add some lace details, something to kind of play up the vintage feel of it. I'm not sure if I'm done with it, but that's what I did with that. And then, and I'm sorry guys, I have a cold, so my voice is going to come in and out. And you've seen me make this before on my channel. I will try and remember to link that video down below. But one of the pages had these number cutouts on it. They were little squares, like 1.5 inch squares. And I just went through the numbers, and if I could trim them down or punch them into something different, I did. And then otherwise, some of them were just better left as squares. And then I went through some of the cute little cut apart. There were just some cut apart tags, just cute little images. And I went through those and added those onto, added my numbers onto those little pieces. Or I went through some of the paper, and then that's also where I pulled in the rest of this cover. Like this one right here was part of the cover I just punched out and used as a backer for my tag. This was the cover as well. I just wanted that little puppy image. And then I had a bunch of them where they were tags and they had to and from over here. And so I just covered that up with a number. This one I added, this was a part of the cover and then a little image and the number. I thought that one was cute, the little snowman, and then I added the tree. So I just used either scraps of paper, parts of the pad cover, or just some of the little cut aparts that I couldn't see myself using in the cards that I was going to make. So there are 25 of these, and I am waiting on some more clothespins. These are like a 2.5 inch clothespin. They're smaller than the normal size. But once those come in, I'm going to glue my little number tag pieces here onto the clothespin, and then I'm also waiting for some more bags. And then these little craft bags can be filled with goodies, and then you add your advent number. So I don't even think I said that. This would be like a Christmas countdown advent calendar type thing where you fill your own, and you would fill the bag and then you could clip the number onto the top of the bag. But again, I'm waiting on clothespins, waiting on bags. I have a bunch of stuff coming that I was just out of. So that was the second project I did. And then I made one nail file holder. Like I had kind of figured out what I wanted to use for cards, and there was a couple sheets left. And this one I liked the print on it. I thought it was cute, and it was small enough that it would, be cute on these little nail file holders. And again, I'm waiting on nail files to come. I'm out of those. So I think all these items are supposed to be here today from Amazon. So I just need to add a nail file in there. I've decorated it up with a kind of dimensional sticker from my stash, and then just used a punch from some red cardstock to back it. And then I have about 15 cards. And I'm so proud of myself because I remembered to go in and distress like all the different layers with this walnut stain. Like I never remember to do that until after I've got everything glued on, but I actually remembered. So I like the vintage style of these cards, and luckily I had no cream colored cardstock. So luckily for Black Friday, Michael's had their heavy duty cardstock packs on sale, like buy one, get one free. And so I bought a white one and a cream one, and it just came yesterday. So I was able to get because prior to that, I just had my card fronts ready to go on a card base. So at least I got to finish these off. But I did use some sketches. So this is Operation Right Home sketch number 146. And I did 3 of these, just using up some of the cut apart images that were like kind of tall and skinny. And then just brought in several sheets of the paper. I went through, because it was an 8x8 pad, and so I went through and found patterns that I thought would make good card mats, and went ahead and trimmed those down to 4 by 5 1/4, like first thing, and then used what was left from that, like the scraps from that, to kind of, as well as some of the other patterns to finish off the card. So I just have brought in several patterns, like with the greens and the reds, and this plaid I think was my favorite. And then on the insides, I do have either pattern paper or cardstock scraps on the inside. I did not ink the pieces that went on the inside, and I'm trying to decide if I need to ink the edges of my actual card base here on the front. Let me know what you think, if you think you needs it. If you think it needs it. I know you don't need it. If you think it needs it, or if it's fine as it is, let me know. But so I have 3 of these, and there were just some cute images in the cut-aparts and the patterns of the paper. So this is Mojo Monday 361, and I just took 2 of the bigger pieces I had left and was able to cut them down into 2 different pieces, kind of alternating sizes, and then got 2 cards out of that. Mojo sketch number 533. This one, I wanted to use this sentiment piece as my main sentiment, and then had that little bird piece, so I threw it on there, and then I just layered up some other pieces. This is Reverse Confetti number 29, and just added my little Merry Christmas sentiment there. Sweet Sunday number 280. This one I thought was really cute, and it was big. So there were 2 of these cut aparts pieces that I needed to find landscape style card sketches for. Sorry, words are hard today. Brain is foggy. And so I wanted that to be the main, obviously it was big enough to be kind of just the main focal point of this card, so I just backed it on some red. And then instead of the strip that goes across the front, I didn't want to cover up the sentiment, so I just added it behind and then added an extra little fishtail strip down there because I had it. This is Sunday Sketches number 10. This one doesn't really have a sentiment. I was just kind of highlighting that cute little vintage playing in the snow photo. Sweet Shop sketch number 77, the Sweet Stop sketch number 77. This was the other one that was big, and this is actually a journal card, and I added this little sentiment piece to it to make it kind of work on a card, because I knew I wasn't going to be doing any scrapbooking or like journaling. So I just brought in, like, this one called for like several different patterns of paper, so I just kind of used up some of the bigger scraps that I had from the other ones. And I'm also trying to decide, I need to go through my Nuvo drops and see if I have any that would work for these cards, because some of them I think just needs a little bit extra, and I know I have like a vintage cream that might work on some of these, so might be adding those, but I wouldn't have had time for them to dry before I had to make the video anyway. But this one, this cute little image. So I just, on these last ones, I went in and added my own sentiment, because these were just kind of not even really using sketches, just trying to use up the scraps that I had. This one is a sketch. This is Operation Right Home, sketch number 154. I don't even need to pull the sketch anymore. And the only thing I did differently on this one compared to normal is I did not add the backer piece. Normally there's like a square that goes behind all the little squares. Didn't add that. I didn't think I needed it. And I wasn't sure what color I would use that would, stand out from this cream. Like, just, I thought it looked fine. So just like it was. Had a big piece of this candy cane paper left, so I just kind of made it the main focal point of this particular card and just added a little scrap that I had to finish it off. Here I was trying to use up some of the pieces, so I just cut them down into squares they all managed to be about pretty close to the same size, around 2.5 inches. And then I staggered them and then decided I needed something else, so I found some cardstock scraps that matched, like they were off-white, kind of similar to the off-white that's in the patterns, and just added those off to the side. And then this one, used the last bit of scraps that I had, just layered them, and then added my sentiment on top. So, like I said, I got 15 cards, and like nice vintage theme with the cards, with the little decor piece. And then I didn't ink these just because it's probably going to be for a kid, and I didn't think that they needed that aged look. They would just enjoy the fun pops of color and the fun images. So I think I got 5 different projects here. a wide variety of things, all from one little 8x8 pad that I picked up for like $2 at Goodwill. So may have been overpriced for Goodwill and for the fact that it was, what, 10 plus years old. But I didn't care. It was worth it to me because I love October afternoon, and I hope you guys enjoyed the vintage feel, enjoyed the throwback to, was it 2012, something like that, to this fun October afternoon pad. Let me know if you enjoyed October afternoon at any time. It's one of my top two faves, along with Basic Gray of past favorites. And I feel like there are some papers that are from like the early 2000s that look like they're from the early 2000s. But something like this, like one reason why I like October afternoon is it's kind of timeless because it has that vintage feel anyway. So it's vintage whether it was in the early 2000s or 2020. So, but I had a lot of fun with this and hope you guys got some inspiration and ideas. Please be sure to check out Sarah and Kathy, who are linked in the description box below. And hopefully this video wasn't too long. Thanks for sticking with me, and I hope you'll have a very crafty day.